West Shore Hospital was about 6 years old. It was pretty wildly popular when it first opened, and so the volumes coming through the ED continued to grow over the last 6 years. We knew in 2019 that we needed to expand not only the ED but other services within the hospital, and so we broke ground in January of 2019 on the expansion of the ED and the addition of the 5 floors above it.
And how much more space do you have with this expansion?
So in the ED we have about 30% more space, and throughout the entire facility we're adding another 52 beds. And so we have 154 beds when the time that we're done. That'll include 12 new ICUs, 3 new operating rooms, and a new pharmacy, and 2 new med-surg units. We're standing in the ER lobby, right off the main entrance from the new driveway. And this will be registration, where folks will come in and get checked into the emergency department to be seen. So we have a new waiting room. The goal is not to be waiting here long. So we sit here while you wait to come into the triage and be seen by your provider.
It's a dedicated ED waiting room. It's significantly larger, I believe. How many spaces do we have? 35, 36 spaces. Right. So it's significantly larger than our previous waiting room to accommodate the additional space we have in the emergency department as well as in the hospital.
Right. And having a dedicated space for the emergency department, I guess, what's the benefit of that?
So we keep our emergency patients on this side of the facility. It gives them also the ability to have some good natural light while they wait, and we keep our flow into the ED in a much more efficient way.
After they arrive, they'll be quickly registered, and then they'll be immediately taken back to one of our 3 triage rooms where they'll be evaluated by a nurse, and many times a provider will meet them out here too.
So we'll walk through the triage process.
So we have 3 triage rooms, all with a good amount of space so that we can quickly evaluate the patient. Physicians can come in also and see the patients. The nurses will do a thorough triage evaluation and get them started, and sometimes draw blood work or get EKGs or order x-rays to be done. We can quickly find out what they're here for and assess the emergency and make sure that we get them where they need to be as quickly as possible.
So from triage, we go off to an exam room. Have you?
So immediately after being triaged, the patient will be brought back to a room similar to one we have right here. At the end of this project, we will have added 8,000 additional square feet to our emergency department, and we'll have a total of 27 rooms similar to the one you're seeing here. All of these rooms are capable of all levels of acuity, all levels of intensive treatment, including advanced monitoring equipment for the heart, special lights, comfortable seating, natural light in the rooms, to make sure the patients are comfortable while they're being evaluated.
And can you give me a couple ways in which this is an improvement over what you currently have?
So obviously, this gave us the opportunity to get the latest technology into our rooms. We have bedside computers so that while we're evaluating a patient, we can start looking at old records, placing orders, and just the biggest thing is the additional space that our community has shown a lot of trust in us. We opened 6 years ago and quickly outgrew the space we originally had, and just to meet the needs of this community, we've added this additional space. So I think it's a big win for us as an emergency department, but also hopefully we'll be able to reward the community for their trust in our care.
Overall growth for this portion of the construction was 30% bigger than the ED was prior to us doing this. And again, we've only been open for 6 years, and so we've seen great commitment from the community and a high level of service from our physician and nurses, and so it's been a great opportunity for us to expand to meet that need.
One of the advantages we have in this emergency department is that we have a full radiology suite part of our emergency department. We have all the latest advanced radiologic modalities available to us. We have a close proximity to our cardiac catheterization lab, which is also being expanded, which is immediately across the hall from this from the ED. So if somebody comes in with a heart attack, we can get them over there within a matter of minutes. We are located immediately below the operating room, so if there's a surgical emergency, they can quickly go from the emergency department right up to the operating room. So this ED was designed for efficiency and quick quality care.
So one of the thoughts in this design was to also make sure that we can take care of all of our patient types, and so one of those patient types is those patients that have a need for behavioral health. And so we do have a behavioral health pod that allows us to care for patients in a safe manner. We have 3 behavioral health rooms set up to be ligature-free. And this is a new addition for us here at the West Shore. So as you can see in the room, they're set up to be safe environments, comfortable, still provides TV and other care, but to make sure that the patient is kept in a safe manner.
It definitely is one more step we've taken to ensure the security, not just of the patients being cared for in this environment, but also the security and safety of other patients and our staff.
So we're in the
So this is the new, what we call the CPU, or the cardiac processing unit. This is their pre-op and post-op space for the cath lab procedures that we do here at the West Shore. This was an expansion of 12 new bays to give them more capacity for the demand for patients that we have on the West Shore.
So it's just one more opportunity to bring advanced cardiac care to the West Shore community.
Completing this part of the project between the ED and the CPU is a brand new 512 slice CT scan, which gives us enormous visual capabilities within the imaging of the body, and it is adjacent to the ED and also the CPU, so that both patient types can use it. So this is a 512 slice CT scanner.
And the advantage of the 512 slice CAT scan machine is that it gives us the highest resolution of imaging. If you get a CAT scan, it just makes it easier for radiologists and specialists to see those finer details that might help make a diagnosis and advance a patient's care. The biggest thing is as we were outgrowing the space and the previous department that was only 17 beds, we were quickly getting filled up. We had the staff, we had the team, we had the providers, we had the adequate number of care providers. We just didn't have the geographic space to take care of the patients that were arriving. And this will finally take care of that last issue that we needed to give that patient that experience that they expected from UPMC Pinnacle.